What's going on, everybody? This is D Guy Sense here, back with another video. And anytime you see a blue, that means it's my quote. Red is a quote from history, and I forgot what other color I've used in the past. But um, so the quote for today is: "Few people deserve help, but everyone has the ability to earn it." And first off, I just want to start off by breaking the quote down. I forgot what happened in life, but something I probably witnessed something that really made me just say this. And when I say few people deserve help, but everyone has the ability to earn it, first we got to understand what it means to deserve something. In my opinion, to deserve something is you have worked for it and you have earned it, but it hasn't been given to you, right? So you're doing all the necessary things to obtain it, but you haven't been rewarded it yet. So that's how I view the word deserve. And then I put but everyone has the ability to earn it, right? So you have the capabilities to eventually possess it. So the black is my interpretation of said quote, and this is mine. So this is my thoughts about something I said, and I'll break it down as the video goes on. So I'm a firm believer in helping those that want to help themselves, and if they're led to water, they should have the willingness to drink. In this society, we've been taught. I'm talking about Western societies, or I'll just say America. In this society, we've been taught that anyone and everyone deserves your help, despite how badly they might treat you, or treat you themselves, or despite how much they reject your help. You should always be there for them because they're either quote unquote family or friends, or because it's the right thing to do. The reason the word self is commonly placed before words such as confidence, motivated, esteem, efficient, discipline is because it all starts from within. So to break down that first part, I'm a firm believer in helping those that want to help themselves and to let the water chase have the willingness to drink. So most people got have to understand that for someone to help you shows a level of compassion in their heart. It shows that they care if they're willing to be honest with you, which is the first step in any intervention, is being honest with oneself and about the situation at hand. You have to be willing to accept that, aka drink the water that you're being given, right? Um, and if we've all experienced enough life to understand that there's not always a helping hand out there. So for you to deny someone's genuine help is really disrespectful for one, and the reason it's disrespectful is because it shows a lack of appreciation, which is one of the greatest forms of disrespect, and that is lack of appreciation. So when it comes to helping someone and leading them there, they have to have that willingness to drink, right? Like if someone isn't even trying to make make adjustments in their own life, what makes you think you can adjust for them, right? We are all been given free will by the Most High, and to touch on free will for a second, free will is having the choice between two different options, right? Good and evil, right? You can't say that someone has free will if they don't have the option to do wrong. So that answers that. So let's get on to the second part. In this society, we've been taught that anyone and everyone deserves your help, despite how badly they might treat you themselves, or despite how much they reject your help. You should always be there for them because they're family, friends, or because it's the right thing to do. And I see that typo, by the way. Y'all may not have noticed it till now, but it's right by family. But anyway, um, in this society, you would always hear the saying, treat people how you want to be treated, right? But long ago, words have been spoken, but the actions did not follow behind them, right? Helping someone that truly despises you in their actions, right? By not following you, by not showing gratitude and humbleness, um it shows something about them, but it also speaks to you, right? It shows your lack of self-love. You understand what I'm saying? It shows your lack of self-respect, because when was the last time somebody spit in your face and you thanked them for it and you kept saying, I understand that you're going through something, but just if it makes you feel better, spit in my face again, right? Everyone always thinks in a physical sense versus a spiritual or mental sense, and that's the equivalent of that. It's offering a helping hand. It's kind of like if you see someone falling off the cliff and you put your hand out. Not only are they trying to pull you down, they say, "Man, why are you trying to help me? Let me go. You see, I don't want to save myself," and you still trying to pull them up. It speaks to your level of consciousness and your willingness to just basically ignore reality itself. You're delusional. You see what I'm saying? So you can't sit up here and claim that you love yourself and you love them if you see that they're rejecting you and rejecting your teachings, your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and uh, claim that you're doing what's best for them. What's best for them and you is for you to leave them alone. You see what I'm saying? Because you're a detriment to them both. You prohibiting them from being who they want to be. When have you ever? And then I'll say this: we can all attest to this one thing I'm about to say. People are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. Your lack of comprehending that is going to cause you a lot of chaos and a lot of turmoil in your own life, and it's just not a smart or wise thing to do. And it just, like I said, it shows this lack of self-love, and also it shows a lack of self-awareness or just awareness in general. Um, and let me touch on this second portion. Um, you should always be there for them for because they're family, friends, or because it's the right thing to do. I'll touch on that family aspect first. So, just because someone's listen, here's an old quote: "Blood doesn't make you family; it makes you related." And I've been a strong that's been a strong proponent in my philosophies about things for a long time because I'm a firm believer in that family ain't gonna do certain things, right? Family not gonna talk down on you. Now this is true family. I'm not talking about your mama, your sister, your brother, and your brother, your auntie, your third cousin down the block. I'm talking about real family. They not gonna disrespect you behind your back. They gonna stand on principles. You understand? They gonna have integrity and dignity about themselves. They not gonna put you in a position that's gonna be detrimental to you. That's not love. If anything, you are opposition, you are opponent. Whatever word you want to substitute for enemy, that's what they are. And what are they enemy of? They're enemy of your peace. They're enemy of your happiness. They're enemy of your growth and your progress in this wretched world we live in. You understand what I'm saying? And you must come to terms with the fact that you're a people pleaser. You can't fathom the fact of them denying you and saying, "Man, look at him going on about his business and leaving us over here in the dust." That's a lot of athletes' problems when they touch all this money. They can't leave people in the past, and that's a very dangerous thing. Well, you can't leave everybody in the past. I can leave those that don't want to excel. Yes, I can. Like I said, free will, the option between two choices. And just because they're friends, like man, there are plenty of people out here that quote unquote live by this. Man, that's my day one. They my ride or die. We gonna do this, this, and that. Man, look here. I'm here to tell you, man. How you gonna sit up here and call somebody a friend when they're a negative impact on you? Brother, you delusional. Woman, you delusional. It doesn't make any logical sense for you to constantly be around people that are uh, uh, they're different than you in every aspect of the word. That's like okay, I'll give you another example. When people say, "Man, opposites attract," though, man, that was talking about male and female, brother. It wasn't if I like hot weather and you like cold weather. What if I like hot weather, you like cold weather? What I look like going to Alaska? Why wouldn't I get with somebody that's trying to go sit on the beach in Hawaii somewhere? Make it make sense. See, when you run behind this man-made doctrine and these man-made philosophies and these man-made teachings, you gonna always end up confused, lost in the sauce, and wondering where your thoughts came from. You see what I'm saying? So it's not as if you can just run through this world without a plan. You just can't do it. You must plan everything. And let me touch on this last piece, and cause I don't like to make these too long. People got short attention spans, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all that nonsense. But or because it's the right thing to do. That's subjective, first off, because Right for who exactly? See, a lot of people tend to want to um just do things because it just makes them feel good. That's a lot of people's problem. They're pleasure seekers. They're getting constant dopamine hits. They're looking for the next reward, or they see a reward and they start anticipating it, and now dopamine hits them. Right? Why? Because that's the only way they know how to feel better about themselves. I'm a firm believer in that. The way people deal with trauma and any type of emotional issue, or an emotional issue, no matter the scale, like whether it's a little or a lot, is they're going to resort to what they know that makes them feel good. You see what I'm saying? If that's why some people drink whenever they have issues. That's why some people get high. Some people read. Some people meditate. If you've never been taught how to properly go about doing things, you're going to resort to whatever gives you pleasure. Whether it's actually a positive or a negative thing is to be discussed, because you know it's case by case. But that's usually what 10 people tend to do. So doing it because it's the right thing is very subjective. Right for who exactly? Nobody in this world does things that puts them behind and puts now I'm not saying you can't do this all the time, right? You can sometimes, but then again, if you don't have something, how can you give it? If you don't have money, how can you give somebody money? If you don't have peace of mind, how can you teach someone how to have peace of mind? If you live in a chaotic world, how can you ever teach somebody how to be in a state of calm? You can't physically do it. You can't mentally or spiritually do it. How you gonna teach somebody about the Most High and you don't know him yourself? How you gonna tell somebody how the Mashiach, the Messiah, lived his life and you don't even know him yourself? You think the commandments done away with? So, but doing it because it's the right thing to do is very subjective, and depending on who you ask. But let's go ahead and get into this last piece. The reason the word self is commonly placed before words such as confidence, like self-confidence, self-motivated, self-esteem. Dang, I messed up twice. Um, there's probably some more in there too, honestly. Self-efficient, self-discipline is because it all starts from within. You can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. People have to want to change what they're tolerating. If you are around smokers, there's one or two reasons you're doing it. Either you do it yourself or you tolerate it. Because I've never seen someone that detests smoking that's going to be around a bunch of smokers. It doesn't make any sense. And if you're doing that, then brother, you have a whole entire bigger issue at hand. And you're going to have to book a consultation or something. And I don't even do consultations. So you're finna have to throw me about 50 bands for my time. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to figure that out. But when it comes to self, you have to understand it truly does all start with within. No one can guide you on your path because no one has ever taken every step with you along the way. Nobody has gone with you in every place you've ever been. And if you say yes, you are lying because you're basically saying someone's basically been with you even to the bathroom, even in the closet to go get a shirt. For that split second, you was by yourself and you had to dwell on your thoughts. You were by yourself. You only had self. Because if you don't understand self, how can you understand everyone else? Because when you start looking at within, you start understanding human nature. And all of a sudden, everything else starts to make a tad bit more sense. Now, granted, that's also subjective too, because if your mind is in the wrong place and you're not being properly guided, you're going to have twisted thoughts. You see what I'm saying? So the way one goes about fixing that is getting around people that have the results that you're looking for. You need to be around people that have peace. Need to be around people that have integrity, courage, and all of those things. Joy, calmness, meekness. You have to get around that. So that all stems from results as well. You know what I'm saying? One second. Um, that all stems from results. So when you're able to look at it from that perspective, uh, everything starts to make a little more sense about how to go about it. So when it comes down to it, you have to analyze your own life and ask yourself, how do I want it to look a few years from now? Right? Because the whole goal of life is one is to follow God and keep His commandments, but secondly, is like how do you go about doing that in the world that's forever changing? And with that being said, hopefully this gives you something to think about. This is going to be a short video. Like I said, I don't like to do them real long. I could probably talk about this topic in depthly for probably about 2 hours. But you know, attention spans, 30 seconds is, and folks out of here if they not liking what they're hearing. So, for those that stuck around to the end, may Yah bless you in the Mashiach's name, and everybody just keep grinding and growing. And I'm out.